right, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Whoop, whoop. Warm-up number 10 is on the screen. It's only 3 itty-bitty problems. Number 1 is to simplify, 2 and 3 to solve. I'll give you about, 5-6 minutes. Let's see how you do with that. Copy and go. Get us started, please. Jose, what'd you get for number 1? Negative x squared minus 6x plus 4y. Yeah? Hands if you got something like that in any order. Okay. Number 2, pass someone, Jose. All right, help him out, Joel. What'd you get? All right, so line down the inequality symbols. To leave q by itself, what do we need to do with negative 7? We multiply times negative 7 all the inequality. So this becomes negative 21 less than or equal to, because we multiply times a negative, q less than 42. Hands if you got that. Okay, good. Number 3. What's our common denominator for that one? JP? 12. So you distribute 12 to the entire numerator and 1 to the denominators. This is 12b minus 24 over 4 equals 12b plus 12 over 3. Therefore, we simplify that. This is 3b minus 6 equals 4b plus 4. All variables to one side, minus 3b minus 3b. Negative 6 equals to b plus 4. And last but not least, minus 4 minus 4. Negative 10 equals b. Woo! Piece of cake. Let's go. You got the same answer? All right. Okay. Yeah, so another way of looking at this, guys, since we have a fraction equal to another fraction, you can cross multiply. Those of you that remember to do that, that works as well. All right, set that aside, please. Copy the agenda for today. Warm-up number 10, absolute value equations and inequalities, and play sheet with 10 problems for this weekend. You're like, what? Yeah, I gave you last weekend off, didn't I? Yeah, bless you. Thank you, Mr. Q. Yeah, you're welcome. So this weekend you have some practice on absolute value inequalities. Huh? Tuesday, yeah. All right. So, let's see where we're at. No Nearpod code. Yesterday's home play was 10 problems from your play sheet, so go to Canvas, turn that in right now. And tonight's home play is also on Canvas underneath where you turn in the other one. Okay, yes? Say that again? Can you use? Yes, you may use your phones to turn that in. Now, check this out. I want to clarify this from right now. Whenever we turn in home plate here on Canvas, turn it in. If it lags, if it doesn't turn in, or whatever the case, make sure before the end of class you give me your paper. So like that, you turn it in physically to me. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. And from there, get a Cornell note ready to take notes. I'll give you some time for that. All right. So, you should have uploaded your home play already. So do me a favor really quick. with your phones. Get your phones out. Go to Canvas, please. Go to Grades for my class. Do you see your grade? Yes? So do me a favor, take a screenshot. And get that signed by your parents over the weekend so we can take it to McDonald's or something. Does everybody know how to get that signed? Okay? It's a picture. Go to Edit. You can write over it. So just have your parents, when you write over it, have them sign and then save it. And you're going to submit that on Tuesday. Okay? So if they ask you where to go to Canvas. And there's some of you that still don't have an account, come see me so I can give you your grade, get that signed at the end of the period. All right, set that aside, please. And it was recorded on the video, so in case your parents are saying, when is Mr. Q going to send out grades? Well, it's recorded here on the video. I'm sending them every 2 weeks, parents. Woo! Let's go. Every 2 weeks. So make sure you give them your grade and have them sign them. Okay? So, let's see where we've been. I can solve one variable equations and inequalities. Have we been hammering this for the past week? Yes. And we've been doing absolute value equations starting yesterday. And we don't need a fair model since we already know what they are. We already know the 4 steps that we've been following to solve equations. And yesterday I asked you to copy these 3 steps. Is that correct? Yes, Mr. Q. And step 2 was to write 2 equations. Well, today we're moving from equations to inequalities. So obviously step 2 is going to be write 2 inequalities. However, before any of that, I introduced the absolute value, and I think I hammered it pretty well. Is that correct? And we know the definition by now, right? And then from there, I gave you a summary of what we did with this diagram that we did, and we were done for the day. Okay? So, to get us to jump right into it, copy this one, example 1. Solve the inequality and graph the solutions of absolute value x minus 1 less than or equal to 2. We're going to do this one together, and I'm going to ask you to put your pencils down when I ask you to, or you're writing utensils. But then at that point, I'm going to show you something very specific for these times, okay? So here we go. We got absolute value x minus 1 less than or equal to 2. So let's draw our line down the inequality symbol. So step 1 is to isolate the absolute value. So circle your absolute value. Is there anything around the absolute value? No. So that means we go to step 2 from there. Is that correct? So check this out. At this point, writing utensils down. Here it goes. At this point, we were to make 2 equations, one for my negative and one for my positive. Okay? So pay attention to this part. Ready? Here it goes. This 2, I need to make it into a negative. So in my brain, what would I do to that 2 to make it into a negative? Talk it over your neighbor. What would I do to make it into a negative? Come your way. Just put a negative, Mr. Q. No. Multiply or divide by what? Negative 1. 2 times negative 1 becomes what? Negative 2. Is that correct? Now, why am I doing all of that? To show you that now that we have an inequality symbol, what do I need to do to that inequality symbol right here? You flip it. That is correct. And then x minus 1. Over here, the 2 is a positive. The inequality symbol stays the same. X minus 1. Copy that really quick. Somebody would just put a negative. Right? Am I right? All right, I'm going to use red for the first inequality. Let's solve this. What do I do there to leave x by itself, everyone? Plus 1. We got x greater than or equal to negative 1. Let's go to this one over here. Plus 1, using green, x less than or equal to 3. Woo! We good? All right, but it says to graph the solution. So let's get our number line over here. We got 0. I want to start with the green inequality, this one. What's my dividing point? 3. Is it an open or closed point? Closed. And I'm going to test 0. Is 0 less than 3? Yes, I'm going to shade towards the 0. Next, the other dividing point. The other dividing point is negative 1. Open or closed? Closed. I'm going to test 0 again. Is 0 greater than or equal to negative 1? Yes, so I'm going to shade towards the 0. What kind of inequality do we have here? This is an and, yes. So therefore, the solution set should be a piece of cake. Solution set of x such that dividing point negative 1, dividing point 3, x in between, arrows to the left, and then check which one has a solid point. Both of them, so equal and equal. Ooh, let's go. And now, as you notice, I'm starting to put together everything that we've worked on for these past 2 weeks. That we've been working with positive and negative numbers, yes. Have we been combining stuff? Yes. Have we been solving equations and inequalities? Yes. Graphing? Yes. Everything's now coming together. I'm like Mr. Han or Mr. Miyagi for those of you that watch the older Karate Kid. I had you practice all this stuff, and now here it is. How we doing? From 1 to 5, how far are you with these? 5, 4, 5, 4. Okay, let's do another one. See if you can do this one by yourself. Example 2. We got absolute value x plus 3 less than 8. Copy that and go. I'll give you some time. Go. All right, let's see what we got. So, line down the inequality symbol. We circle the absolute value to see if there's anything around it. There isn't. All right, take it from there. Help me out. Jaden, go. Okay, multiply 8 by negative 1. That gives us negative 8. And then what do we do to the inequality? Flip it, and then write x plus 3. Yes? Oh, the negative 1, we just do it in our noodle because the rule is that we need to make one negative and one positive. Yes? Kind of like the equations. Same thing here. We just do it in here. Okay? Continue, Briseida. Go. Okay. Less than 8. Okay? So far so good? All right, Christina, go. Subtract 3, x greater than negative 11. Over here, subtract 3, x less than 5. Hands if you got that by yourself. All right, good. Graph, here we go. You got 0. I'm going to start with the 5, dividing point 5, open point. I'm going to test 0. Is 0 less than 5? Yes. Negative 11, open point. I'm going to test 0. Is 0 greater than negative 11? Yes. And this is an and. Therefore, solution set of x such that negative 11 and 5, x in between, arrows to the left, and none of them are solid, so we finish there. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay. Let's go. We got this, yes? All right. So, you guys are in the row. See what I did there? In the row. Anyways, example 3. Copy this. We got absolute value of x plus 14 greater than or equal to 19. All right, before I call on someone, tell me what's the first thing you're going to do for that one, and then the second. All right, good communication. Get us started, please, Christopher. What do I do? Subtract 14 to both sides. That is correct. Absolute value of x greater than or equal to 5. And from there, continue, Diego. Okay, so negative 5, and then we flip the inequality symbol, and then that's x. Then positive 5, x greater than or equal to 5. So far, so good? Yes, easy Q. All right, let's graph this. 0. I'm gonna use green for this left one. I mean the right one. Dividing point is 5. Is it an open or close point? Close. Let's test 0. Is 0 greater than 5? No, that's false. So instead of shading towards 0, I'm going to shade the opposite direction. There it is. Negative 5 over here, solid point. I'm going to test 0 again. Is 0 less than or equal to negative 5? No, so it's going to go the opposite direction. So what do we have? 4. By now you should be able to write your solution set from there, yes? Okay. All right, share with your neighbor your solution set, see what they got. All right, good conversations. Give us your solution set, Dulce. Oh, solution set x such that? Nick. We start with this portion, which is x. Or equal to 5. Yeah, so I'm reading the graph, guys. We start with this section, which is x, and then the negative 5, then the word or, then 5, and then x. All right? Let's do another one. Example 4. Yeah, this is just like reps and practice, yeah? Let's do this. 3 plus absolute value x plus 2 greater than 5. All right, turn to your neighbor, let them know what's the first thing you're going to do, and then the second. All right, here we go. Valente. If I want to leave the absolute value by itself, what do I do? Subtract 3. Subtract 3. Subtract 3. We end up with absolute value x plus 2 greater than 2. All right? I'll give you a head start. See if you can finish that one. All right? Continue, Lisa. Go. All right, so from here, we need to bring the 2 down, 1 negative, 1 positive. So the 2 becomes negative 2. Flip the inequality symbol. And over here we got x plus 2 greater than 2. And if you're there, okay, all right. Let's solve the left side. We got minus 2, x less than negative 4, minus 2, x greater than 0. So far so good? Yes? Let's graph this. Zero. I'm going to graph this dividing point. Oh, it's at 0. Okay. So that means I can't test 0 for this one. Can I test any number from the right side? Yeah? What number should I pick? 23, Michael Jordan. Is 23 greater than 0? Yes, so that means I'm going to shade towards the 23. Next, I'm going to go with negative 4, open point, and I'm going to test 0. Is 0 less than negative 4? No, right? Because it's on the right side, so I'm going to go against the 0. There it is, and we end up with or. See if you can write your solution set for that one by yourself. All right, let's see. What is here in the graph? This represents x. Then we have a dividing point negative 4. Then the word or. Dividing point 0. Then we have x. Arrows to the left. And they're both open. So there you go. Hands if you got that. All right. Let's go. All right. So writing utensils down, look up to the screen. I'm going to show you something. I'm not even going to speak. I'm just going to show you something, and your brain's going to do all the thinking. Ready? Here it goes. Look up to the screen. Talk it over and never let them know what you see. See if they see what you see. All right. Pretty good, yes? Let's see. Jalen, what do you see? Oh, so it's if it's a greater than or greater than or equal to, it's a or, okay? And if it's less than or equal to, it's an and. Hands if you see that, yes? All right, so let's summarize that. Let's see. Copy these, please. We have absolute value x plus 1 less than 6, or absolute value x plus 1 less than or equal to 6. And underneath, I'm going to put a blank. You need to write a word right there. And over here, x plus 1 greater than 6, x plus 1 greater than or equal to 6. And a blank, and you need to write a word right there. what corresponds to this and what corresponds to this. See, Christopher, what do we write here? Huh? Tell your neighbor what we write here, guys, for these two, and what we write here for these two. Yeah, and or, and or. Okay? So, just to be fair, guys, and it's recorded on my YouTube channel, once again, you need to stay focused throughout these sessions, guys, because I'm saying we're going to go bell to bell. If you're starting to get distracted by whatever, you're going to miss stuff, especially if you're on your electronic device that you shouldn't be. Please, pretty please, when I ask you to put stuff away, put it away. I don't want to have to take it from you, because some of you are pretty much saying this. It's cute. Take it, please. Here it is. I don't want to do that. So please, pretty please, with a cherry on top. All right. Now that we hammered this pretty well, copy these last two. Example super Q. A is absolute value x plus 4. And then we have minus 5 greater than negative 8. And for part B, absolute value x minus 2, outside the absolute value plus 9, less than 7. Copy that. I'll give you some time. Here we go. Line down the inequality symbol, line down the inequality symbol. All right, so what do I do right here, everyone? Add 5, we end up with absolute value x plus 4 greater than negative 3. And over here, add minus 9, we end up with absolute value x minus 2 less than negative 2. Okay, let's stop right there. We're going to analyze these and see what we see. All right, here we go. Writing utensils down, look up to the screen. I don't know if you notice, this is a red flag because now we have what? Negative and a negative. Okay, so let's read this and reread it in our noodle to make sure we capture what we're looking at. And I like to take away all the values or all the numbers, so like that it's clear in my mind as to what I'm looking at. What do we have over here? Well, I have an absolute value. Greater than. I'm going to take away the 3, but it's a what? A negative. So what this statement is saying is that an absolute value is greater than negatives. Question, is that true? Let's find out. What is absolute value? Distances. And what are distances? Positives, right? So is a positive greater than a negative? Yeah, this is true. Will it ever change? No. That means it doesn't matter what I substitute in here. It doesn't matter what I substitute in there. I can substitute a Pokemon in there, and that side will always be greater than a negative. Does that make sense? Therefore, whenever you get these situations when it's a greater than a negative, you're going to write solution set of x such that x is equal to all real numbers. The x, we can substitute all real numbers. Why can we substitute all real numbers? Because it doesn't matter what we substitute, this will always be what? True. Yeah, it's an R, but with a double bar. That's the symbol for real numbers. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah? If you don't know how to do that, it's like this. 2 bars, and then BR. Woo! All right. Here we go. Let's look at this one. What do we have here? Absolute value less than a negative. Analyze that. Talk it over with your neighbor. Let them know what we see and what can you conclude. So basically we have positives less than negatives. Is that true? No. Therefore, no solution. So whenever you end up in a situation like this where the negative's here, but it's less than towards the absolute value, it's no solution. Okay? All right. pause this really quick.